Welcome back to the 12 Days of Transforming Toys. And I am currently shooting a video I didn't think I was going to because when I shot the one that will be posted after this, I thought I had all the videos I need and realized, oh, crud, I need one more. Yeah, so basically I am going to be reviewing this, which is a third-party offering from Iron Factory alongside Orion, Paxa, Windblade, and Slipstream. This is the IFEX14L. I'm not going to say its full name on camera because I'm pretty sure some religious nut, as soon as I even utter its name, will basically call me sacrilegious for reviewing a toy with such a name, so I'm not going to mention its name on camera to avoid those crazies. Seriously, it's Christmas time. Can we please not have that kind of stuff going on in this world during this time of year? Regardless, it is a nice looking truck. The problem is getting all of these wheels flat to the ground, and as you can see, not exactly easy. I'm still trying to get it to lay flat and roll, but it still has kind of a pivot to it. It takes a little trial and error because there's really no place for the rear trailer to peg in so it's flat and flush to the ground. But that trailer looks menacing. It looks like it has a bunch of guns just pointed forward, ready to blow something up. Now, the trailer can come off, but it is very tricky because while I have been able to get it off before just by pulling these tabs, it is extremely hard to do so. So it's just easier to partially disassemble the trailer component completely. And if you want, you can actually leave these on if you're just going to go right into the Super Robot mode. But for this review, we are just going to review the main cab first before we get on to the combined mode. Now then, fortunately these panels are supposed to be up there. Not a bad looking truck. This is actually a repaint of their not Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime with all sorts of new trailer bits. So let's get down to transformation. Well, as we unpeg these pieces and peg them forward like that. Flip this up. Fold this down and around like so. And all these joints were super tight when I got this originally, to the point where I actually had my hands and fingers so sore. Anyway, we gotta pull this out a little to give us a little bit more wiggle room as we fold that up, fold this back, and the head is extremely hard to get out because there's very little clearance to get it out when you're like it's supposed to. So we fold the torso in, fold it in place, fold this panel back, and we flip the torso like so, fold out the legs, and when I originally got this, I had to disassemble this leg here because the hip joint was misassembled to the point where it was off on an angle and catching to the point where it won't turn at all. So we just fold out the legs like so, fold up the kneecaps. Yeah, so be aware that could have just been my copy of the toy, but it will be something you're going to have to keep in mind, that you may have to fiddle with the toy just a little with a screwdriver in order to make sure that all of his bits and parts are where they're supposed to be. And you're supposed to pull this out until it snaps into place. And there we have him in robot mode. A nice looking Nova Prime, and I just realized I forgot something on the shelf. And I'm back. My apologies. Just trying to get all these reviews done quickly, so regardless, we are going to take a look at his robot mode, which has nice shoulders. Unfortunately, the transformation hinge also moves as well, so it's really hard to move the shoulder without moving the transformation hinge. Nice elbows, but they go both directions due to transformation. The wrists are extremely tight. Head is sort of on a ball joint, but because of the hinge the head is on, it's a little tricky to use because the hinge, it's somewhat tight, but it doesn't clip in place. The thigh swivel was what I had extreme issue with when I had the toy originally. Again, this is why I had to disassemble this leg in order to get that swivel to work. Nice knees, and the feet are on a ball joint here with a hinge for the top of the foot. So, nice little figure. And of course, he does have accessories. He has a sword. And since this was a repaint of Optimus Prime, an axe, which are done in clear blue plastic. It feels nice and chunky. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap on me like most clear plastic. And the paint hasn't really worn off no matter how many times I've pulled or pushed these back in his hands. And he does have another pair of guns, which are stored in here. My apologies. Now, we are going to have to disassemble this whole thing for him later, but you can also use these two guns in this mode. So we'll just swap out his sword for his gun here. It kind of looks like a shotgun, doesn't it? Little handheld shotgun. So, yeah, there's that. Now we are going to take all of his weapons out and get him into his combined mode, which requires a bit of partial transformation, as we have to refold his feet back into his ankles. We have to make sure everything's straightened so that we got everything aligned properly. Gotta fold his head back in his torso, and as you can see, not a whole lot of clearance there. And finally, we pull his torso to get that hinge back out. So, that out of the way, we start with these, which are obviously going to be his feet. You fold this in place and make sure it clips, because there's a tab there in the slot there. It's really tricky to get it in there like it's supposed to. A little fiddling, and hopefully I won't break anything, but a little fiddling, it will go in there just fine. And of course, they attach just like they do in vehicle mode, which is why I say you can actually leave these on if you're going to transform them directly into Super Robot mode. So we gotta make sure that's there, and we fold the knee pad back down so it merges with the foot. So we do the same over here. And again, the joints are still very tight on this. Even though I've been playing with this for a few days, they are still very, very tight. So we put that there. We want to make sure that it's nice and straight. And slip the knee pad back down. Now then, this whole assembly here has to be disassembled. There's a little hinge here. It's more for, I think it was for a previous transformation, but it gives us enough room to pop those out. As you can see, there's a hinge up here, and sorry about that, but yeah, that is supposed to come off. Well, I guess the hinge won't work if these are in the way, so we gotta twist these off very carefully. I don't want to break the pegs. Yeah, as I said, there's a hinge down here too. And there is no use for this hinge whatsoever in this thing, but it was probably for when this piece was probably for another Transformer. Because again, this is a repaint. Didn't have the wings, but it probably had similar parts. Gotta fold these up. Fold these up like so. We'll deal with this later because our primary concern are the new hands, which we fold the panel out like so. And this pegs into the old hand like so, and we fold this in. There's no way to peg this in, but the hinge is nice and tight, so it stays on there like it's supposed to. Do the same on the other side. Now then, we take the crotch plate, pop that in like so. We take these pieces that we took off the trailer, and these are just tab into right here. So it's already looking much bigger than before. Finally, we take this piece where the guns were actually attached on, flip out the new Super Robot head, which is a very tight joint. And the reason why we need the torso out is so that the tabs here just slide right in place. Make sure that it clips in because there's a little notch there that it goes into that joint. And once we are done with that, now we go to the backpack where we just slightly splay out these mechanical wings. Not sure if I'm going to get them perfectly even on my first try. I highly doubt I will, but I'm going to try my best. And we have this port right here for this post right here. It has a little notch to keep it from shifting side to side, and there we have him in his Super Robot mode. A nice looking Nova Prime. Now then, we can arm him up. First off, as you can see, he has two posts right here, and his guns just peg in like so. Not part of the directions, but it's something I found. However, his guns can merge together like so to make a nice rifle. And of course, the sword and the axe can combine to make what's described as a halberd, claymore, I think. I'm going to have to check the directions. I think they call it a claymore, but it's hard to say. Now, before I show off the weapons, I'm going to show that he has his shoulder, but it's a little bit more limited because of the armor. Still got the same knees. He has the ball-jointed head, but it's a little stiff. Still got waist articulation. His legs are a little bit more limited due to the new crotch plate, but his knees about the same, and nice tilt in the foot there. So you can get some pretty good poses. The wings also have this joint here as well as the joints in there, and a joint here, so you can get some, oh, sorry. It's supposed to tab in like that, but yeah, you can see that the wings are going to be a little fiddly to get right, but they work pretty good. And of course, you have to unplug this part in order to get it into his hand like so. And his rifle can plug into his other hand like so. And there we have our Nova Prime all ready for battle. Now then, after this, we're going to be doing another movie toy. Again, I shot 3 movie toys in a row, but unfortunately I realized I only had a few days. I was missing one video, so I shot this, and I am going to be posting this before the next movie toy review. So that's my review, and I hope to see you guys again next video. Bye!